Hey, babe.
What's up?
Hey, what's up? It's crazy. We have been talking about self love, and of course, Alyssa broke it down. Like, she broke it all the way down for us. But I was so curious, what does self love look like for a man?
Well, honestly, it's different and the same because self love is an individualized concept. It doesn't just it's not specific for a man or a woman, it's specific for the individual. So, where I may like to sit alone by myself, and that's self love, there may be a lady that likes that as well, but there may be a man that doesn't like that.
So you just not going to answer my question.
What does it look? Because again, I want to be sure and be clear that when we speak in generalities, a lot of times people say,
What
"Oh,
self love look like for you?
for thank you." I can say what it looks like for me, but please do not take this and say this is what men think and do, because again, self love can't be generalized. For me, self love is um, taking care of myself in the only way that I can, where I'm pulling back. Um, for me, self love is watching TV sometimes, watching one of my favorite shows, making time for that. Self love for me is getting quiet, pulling away from people. I'm always in an environment where people are around
Yeah, that's true.
99.99% of the time. So self love for me sometimes is sitting in the car when I get home.
And I hate that
You do.
because I want you to come in the house.
But it's okay. And because I do that, I am a better me when I walk into the house.
It's very true. It's very true. You have to set a boundary, huh?
Sometimes people cannot understand why you love yourself the way that you love yourself.
Wow. Okay. Well, just get into it then, babe. Just
Well, it's
that's good.
it is what it is because we are everyone is different. Our backgrounds mold us into who we are. Our life experiences, our troubles, our trials, our triumphs mold us into who we are. So the things that we love about ourselves and the way that we love ourselves are all determined on what we've come through.
Mm.
And since everyone has come through something different, although we may look the same, we may have some of the same ideals, and beliefs, um, there may be, and there normally are always some differences in how we choose to love ourselves.
Okay. What are some ways that you think that I love myself?
You love yourself with your um confectionery pleasures.
God, oh, you nailed it. Oh, I'm such a sugar baby. I love sweets. Oh my God.
Yes, yes, I do believe that.
I do. That's very much self love for me. You nailed it. Okay, what's one more thing?
Yeah. Getaways.
I love
I
you.
think that's another
Thinking
way.
about that. You're right.
Yeah,
I need to change the scenery every so often.
you do.
Okay. Okay, my turn. Ask me. Ask me.
What are some ways you feel like I love myself?
I feel like you love yourself by, hmm, you say no a lot.
That is true.
I really think your strong no is a way that you protect and love yourself.
Yeah, true.
Because you don't really just be apologetic about it. You don't have no remorse. And then you're just going to be like, no, do it, babe. Do it for the people. How it go?
No, yeah, I don't think that's a good idea for me. When
Good.
okay, let me give you some context on this. When you understand the gift that you're giving people when you say no,
Oh, bad. How you
you can say no with confidence, right?
Let's talk about this.
Let's talk about it. Okay.
Pack it, please.
So if I were to say yes to something that I didn't have the capacity, the time, or the desire to do, then my yes would cost you more than you'd be willing to pay for.
It would cost me.
It would cost you and me, because now you're getting a piece of me that I'm not even willing to give, but I'm giving it begrudgingly.
Oh,
Or I'm only going to give you half. So you see me as one thing, and you're like, "Ooh, I want that, right? I want to use that. I don't have the capacity or the desire, or maybe even the time to give you that." And that's why I say no. If I were to say yes, not having the desire, capacity, or time, then that means you're not going to get what you think you're going to get or what you see.
oh, that's strong.
So when I say no, my no is, number one, understanding what I have to give and what I'm willing to save you from. Like, it's a respect thing. Like, I respect you enough to say, you know what, I really can't do that. I know you want me to do that. You may think I have the time, but there's other things that are...
That part, you may think.
You may think, but there's some things that are valuable to me that take priority. And when I take time away from those things, now the thing that I'm doing for you, or the topic or the task that I'm doing, is now going to cause me more frustration, because I know I'm here when I want to be there. And I'm going to start looking at you sideways. But when honestly, it's really my fault,
That
because
is so true.
I said yes, right?
What a great perspective. That really helps me to say no. It's easier.
It's okay. It's okay. You're helping people. I'm saving you.
Babe, that sounds so arrogant.
It's not. It is not. I promise you, it is not. It's not from a sense of arrogance, because when they say no is a complete sentence, it's so true, because it would take too much time to explain it. At the end of the day, the truth of the matter is, it is really a thing that we're saving people from. Because, okay, have you ever said yes to something that you didn't want to say yes to?
Yes, Lord. Too many times.
Okay, so when you said yes, did you do it wholeheartedly, happily, with no frustration?
I probably had an attitude, but I did it wholeheartedly because I'm just going to do what I said I was going to do.
And did it pull you from something that you could or should be doing?
Yes.
Right. So in that scenario, that means that you robbed somebody else.
Wow.
Right? So in that scenario, you now took away from something that should have had priority to give to something that had less priority.
Not you get me together.
I'm just, that's how I'm laying out. Like, it's the truth of the matter.
It's very true. It's absolutely so true.
And so now let me ask you this. And when you finished that task, were you glad that you did it when you put it on the scale of what you should have been doing, or the time that you could have had with kids or doing other things? Was it worth it?
I mean, I will say that could be situational. Sometimes it is. Most times it's not. And I feel drained. Again, and there's that attitude, because I stay with it.
And then if we go down the rabbit hole of that, when you feel drained, how do you show it for other people?
Partially.
Partially, right?
Yeah, not fully.
So when we look at it holistically, this thing that you did is you sacrificed to do. It could have ended up being rewarding, could have not. However, while you were doing it, you were drained. In your drained state, there are other things happening around you that you can't fully give yourself to, because you said yes to this.
Right.
So now it's spider webs. Now there's other people, other scenarios that people are like, matter of fact, I talked to Glenn the other day and ...
Wow.
And that was only a result of you said yes to this, and you shouldn't have said yes to it.
That is so true. You are right. I have gotten in trouble because sometimes I'm saying yes to things in an effort to rescue people. Oh, this is a whole word.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, oh, they need my help. Or I have this thing where I can be a rescuer. But then I get in trouble because I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time and generally in somebody else's spot unknowingly. And I rob them of the opportunity to rescue themselves.
100%.
So that's real. You really just took me there. Well, thanks for that, Mr. Jones.
It's my pleasure.
I got another way that you show self-love.
How's that?
Self-acceptance. You are very comfortable with yourself.
I don't know if this is a compliment or a shot. Let's dig into that, please. Please do share.
I admire it because you're a quirky guy. Like, you are a very unique individual. And you can be unapologetic about it. So it's like, you know who you are. You're comfortable who you are. You accept that about yourself. You accept yourself. And you also are very okay if other people reject it, which many don't. But in the same vein, I feel like if they did, you would be unbothered.
You know, the ugly duckling went through a very traumatic experience.
What was that?
Because the ugly duckling didn't know who he was. So he was constantly in scenarios and environments where he was trying to be an imitator. And granted, he didn't know who he was, but the whole time he was really a swan, right? So once he realized who he was, then he was like, oh my gosh, look at all these things out, trying to spend all this time trying to fit in, trying to do. So that's one of the narratives that I use when I am in scenarios or in environments where people, whether they accept me or not, but they are like, you should be like this and you should be like that. And I'm thinking to myself, if I'm a swan and you see me as an ugly duckling, then I'm in the wrong environment.
Well, folks.
So what?
And there you have it.
Let's think about. I like the animal kingdom a lot. I use like looking at animals and how they work. What elephant do you think apologizes for being an elephant?
Wow.
Like when we think about animals in the world, like what eagle apologizes for being an eagle? Oh my gosh, I have wings. I'm so sorry that my feathers are getting everywhere. I'm so sorry. No, right? And in the same vein, I feel like we were created in a way to fit into places where we are needed.
That's so good.
And where our skills complement the people and environments and scenarios around us. And unfortunately, sometimes you may not be in an environment where you have a lot of people like you.
Yeah, that's so true.
And the reason being, at times, is because the people need you.
Mm-hmm.
Like a hammer doesn't need a hammer. A hammer needs a nail.
Right.
To fulfill this purpose, right? So sometimes we are looking for hammer. I'm a hammer, you a hammer, we all a hammer. But if we're all hammers, how do we fulfill our purpose?
I'm trying to figure out how we even got here.
I don't know. You did this. You know I'm a purpose guy. I'm a purpose.
So true.
He's gonna come back around. But it comes back. That is a part of loving. Loving you is knowing who.
Ooh. Knowing who what?
You are.
Oh, I missed that, dude.
You did. That was a great question.
That's good.
So if I'm loving George, but I'm not George, that means I'm not loving myself.
Ooh.
My name is Alfonso.
That's right.
So I have to know who. I have to know who Alfonso is.
Yeah.
To love Alfonso properly. If I'm looking at you like, okay, Rand goes out in the nature to love herself, so I need to go out in the nature. And I got allergies. What am I doing?
True.
It doesn't fit. So loving you starts with knowing who. Like, who am I?
That's good. No, that's really, really good. So, self-love looks like taking time to get to know who you are. And that means identification of like core values, or go ahead, coach. What?
No, you're right. You're going into my whole lane. There's
But what is
I don't know if I can share this information yet. This is you trying to give me the express.
okay, understand your identity.
Yes, okay, let's do it.
Um,
Identity alignment, aligning, understanding. That's the concept. It's called identity alignment. When you
that's good.
this core values, belief systems, purpose, personality styles. That's where we.
And we have to know all of that. That sounds a bit overwhelming. That's a lot.
So ultimately, we don't have to know all that.
Okay.
Like that's like PhD level.
Paper, but like that is a lot.
It's PhD level. There's minor and more minute things that you can start with. But when we talk about identity alignment holistically, that's when you want to get to the, elite status where I can look and say, I can say no.
Because you don't align with my identity or values.
No, because I'm aligned. You don't have to align.
Oh, that's good.
Right. Identity alignment is a personal thing, but it takes personal work. Right. And once you are aligned, that means you can go into any scenario and operate at peak performance and potential because you are fully aligned in who you are. You can walk away. You can say no. You can stay in the environment and still say no without walking away.
Because I am aligned.
Yes,
that's good stuff. That's good stuff.
And there's more to that to come
More to come. Where are we going to find that, though?
You'll probably see some of it on my podcast, shameless plug, Leaders Aware podcast.
What?
A product of Trifecta Prime Leadership.
Invite me to be on your podcast
yet. I don't have guests on my podcast yet. I haven't decided if I'm going to do that.
But it's me.
It is you. And I love you.
There you go. Do y'all see me do that? It's like a solid, firm, very polite no.
And I love you. And you know what? Every single episode, that you all will ever see of the Leaders Aware podcast, Gwen is a part. Because without her support, there would be no Leaders Aware podcast. Literally.
Okay, Charmy.
It's the truth. It's the truth. So I need you to know that every time you see that little purple icon, know that that's you too.
But I just won't physically be.
Maybe one day, but at this point, it's
a firm no.
Yeah, it's a solid. You understand?
Oh, we love you.
We're here together.
That was an excellent demonstration of what it looks like to stand your ground, own your no, even if it's somebody that you love dearly. Thank you, babe. That was good stuff.
It's my pleasure.
Appreciate you. Love you.
Appreciate you. I love you as well.